All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to BDB Book Club. And it is going to be an exciting session today with lots to learn, share, and take away, particularly if you're working in a B2B marketplace, and that too in a sales profession. The book that we are going to cover today entails all the ingredients with a variety of scenarios and dimensions that you might or you may or may not be, you may or might be definitely encountering in your sales profession. My name is Jitendra Balani, and I would be taking you through our today's session. Before we proceed, I'll briefly introduce BDB India Private Limited. BDB India Private Limited is a market research and business consulting firm established in 1989. BDB works with clients from healthcare, industrial, and agriculture sectors for their sales growth, customer experience, customer journey mapping, and channel experience and channel satisfaction, and also the net promoter score in order for the customers to grow and provide a kind of solutions so that they can actually enhance their business, not only in India, but also abroad. BDB Book Club is a social initiative of BDB India Private Limited. BDB Book Club was founded in October 2010 with the sole purpose of becoming a platform where the book lovers can engage and discuss one professional publication every month. We typically meet every last Saturday of the month and discuss the professional publications, interact with the authors, particularly on non-fiction topics. And so far, we have been fortunate and that our members have been able to engage with us, connect with us on every Saturday morning, and we have actually been revered with some of the very professional and pristine authors, such as Mr. R. Gopalakrishnan, Mr. Ravi Venkatesan, Mr. Prakash Iyer, Dr. Shashi Tharoor, only to name a few. And even today, the book that we are going to cover also covers a topic that has actually fascinated all of us, and particularly the people who are actually on the sales team on the field. The topic that we are going to cover today finds its expression in form of a book which is titled as B2B Sales Transformation 2.0, and which is authored by Mr. Bhadresh Dani. And we are very, very fortunate that Mr. Bhadresh Dani, the author of the book, is also present amongst us, and he would be taking us through the entire book, sharing his experience, his views, his opinions, and of course, why one should buy this particular book as well. Mr. Bhadresh Dani is a husband, a father, and a marathon runner. And he's also a power electronics engineer with a management education from Henley Management College, UK. He's an IIM graduate, and that too from Ahmedabad. And he has completed his leadership development education from Denmark. He is enriched with 30 plus years of working experience across multiple functions, covering product development, production, customer support, sales, and business development. He has invested 15 years of his life with a Danish multinational, Danfoss, since its inception in India. At the time of authoring this book, he is working with Bharat Bijli as a vice president for drives and automation. He's a very passionate person and always tries to exposure to the new technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning as well. One of the main point, which is something which particularly I was also impressed about his three pillars on which his entire career and professional career is based on. He mentions that his three pillars for his success are: one is vision, having a long vision going forward, innovation to be the second, and third is connections, that is networking, interacting with as many people. So on these three pillars, his entire professional career is based, and something which it's a key message that he sends across. Mr. Badresh Dani, thank you so much for being a part of our BDB Book Club session and accepting our invitation to present this book forward. I now pass the control to you. We have your presentation available for the audience. Please, you can carry forward. Over to you, Mr. Badresh Dani.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, BDB Book Club and Mr. Mani, Mr. Jitender for giving such a good opportunity to share my book. So welcome to all the participants. Warm welcome. We'll have 1.5 hour transformation journey. I will try to cover this particular book. I think you're able to see that, and also you can see physically this book. It is around 320 pages, very composite and quite detailed book. It was launched in 2020 in front of my ex-manager and present managers. Mr. Manish Kulkarni had actually managed the event on, it was an online session. You're able to see Mr. Purushottam Ravichandran, who is my ex-boss, presently President Danfoss India. Mr. Rangarajan, who was my ex-manager. Mr. Sandeep Maiti, who was my ex-manager, Mr. Paragnanavadi, who is my first manager, and Mr. Nakul Mehta, who is Vice Chairman and Managing Director of Bharat Bijli, who is my present manager, who has also written the foreword for this book. So I would not like to miss the opportunity to say thank you once again to all my managers and present manager. This book is dedicated to a sales profession. So you can understand, like, without sales, nothing moves. In COVID, we know that, I mean, there was no sell and there were a lot of issues and people had a lot of survival issues and all that. So this book was dedicated to a the B2B sales profession, or maybe the complete sales profession, and a business owner who are creating value for the customers, for their organization, and generating a livelihood of society. They are also responsible for creating joy, happiness, and for associated families, and also contributing for the global and nation economic growth through ethical selling. So you are also like whoever is in a sales profession, you are also creating a lot of value for the nation, and it is no less than the profession like a doctor, where they are also creating a lot of value for the humankind. We are also creating a lot of value for the humankind. No sales, there is no livelihood actually. So it's very important to reflect back and also, pat the back if you're in a sales profession, because you are doing a great job. 10 things what this book will help you to achieve. One is improve your sales margin, because a lot of value selling techniques are covered in this. I have done some kind of a value selling calculator, or how to really go step by step process. Then how to find the sales result faster and better. How to build the sales funnel in a digital way. You know that nowadays customers are not really giving more time, and many things are going online. So how to really create a sales funnel on a digital way. Qualify the right customer who will buy from you. Many times we run behind the customers who will never buy from you. So you have to really qualify the customer before you approach them. Understand the prospect faster and create a reference for you, preference for you. So you should be able to understand the prospect faster, and then he can also give you a preference compared to the competition. Simplify the customer acquisition process. I think I have given a step-by-step process where if somebody is following the step-by-step process, I guarantee that the salesperson will have definitely a good success. Negotiating and closing deal assertively and respectfully. Many times customers are pushing you for the price reduction and all that, but how to really negotiate and close a deal little more assertively and with a lot of respect actually. Retaining your existing customer and make them advocate. So how to really continue retaining that customer for long time and create them your advocate. Like they should go and sell your product in the market, or they should actually recommend your product in the market. Grow and sustainable channel and OEM business. How to really create sustainable channels and also retain your OEM customers. The last but not the least is how to reduce your mental stress, because sales team is always under mental stress, and you have always stress for achieving the targets and all that. So how to really manage the stress, as well as how to really balance your work and life and even passion balance. Many sales people, including me, when I was in a frontline sales, I really suffered on all these aspects, life and passion and work balance actually. But I mean, after writing this book or maybe specific chapter on that, I also try to learn how to really manage better work life and passion balance. So these are the 10 things what you will really take out from the book. The total book is divided in three different parts. So first part is what is the importance of selling and what is the new normal environment. So after COVID, what has changed and how to really adopt a new skills, sales skills beyond, the post-COVID. We are already in a post-COVID environment. Part two is actually giving a complete process step by step, starting from building the sales funnel up to the closing the sale and winning the order actually. And part three is talking about the work life and passion balance. So total the book has got 10 chapters, and each chapters have got a summary after each chapter actually. So, and also at the last chapter called 11th chapter, it is called a sales transformation journey, where there is a briefing about each chapter. So even if you are not able to read the full book, if you read the chapter 11, you will actually get the essence of the book. Chapter 2 is what are the essentials required, essentials to become a pro B2B sales in profession. Uh, why I'm using the word pro? Pro is little bit jara hatke. I mean, one, plus one kind of a thing. A normal salesperson definitely will follow the normal process, like giving the price and competing on the price only. But the pro salesman will not do that. And what kind of the essentials to become a pro sales person? So this is a very small. The writings are very small, but I will definitely explain. So what exactly you need to run? To work in any profession. I think you need attitude, right attitude. You need a right skill, and you need a right knowledge. So it is called a ask model. If somebody is from HR, will be able to understand this. So it is a ask model. So being a pro salesman, what kind of attitude or mindset is required actually? The attitude is nothing but your belief and value system. So the salesperson should have a very positive mindset. Maybe you can have the daily affirmation that before you go to the sales call. Then strong belief in a law of attraction. So when you actually you have to win the order before even you when you really start, you have to win the order in the mind before you go to the customer. So that is called a law of attraction. So many times we don't believe in things, and then things do not happen. Then you need to have a growth mindset continuously. I would like to grow my organization, whether you are in a sales or whether you are a entrepreneur. Passion for sales profession is also very important mindset. Never give up attitude. Maybe you will fail 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, but we should continue attempting it. And many times I have seen that the customers are appreciating the people or salespeople who are really attempting continuously, and they really give you the chance. Many times they are also trying to test your patience actually. So even after 5 attempts, you should continue, and you should try to go to the same customer once again. Emotional intelligence. There is a lot of things on emotional intelligence. I will not be able to discuss more on that, but a lot of things are covered in emotional intelligence. The main point is, I think we should be able to understand who we are and how do we behave. I think that is very important point. The customer orientation and the curiosity. I think the salesman should have the mindset of a child. The child is always asking the question that why it is happening, why it is not this way, why this way. So if your curiosity mindset, you will ask more question to the customer, and you will be able to reveal more information about the customer, about the project, about the machine, about the application. Skills is basically you can learn the skills. It's a learnable skills like relationship building. I explained something about relationship building, that how to really build the relationship with the customer, not going and asking about the order, but how to really build the relationship. And there is a step-by-step approach. Good communication, active listening skill. Generally, I think in early days in 90s, people would like to admire if the salesperson is talking more. Maybe 75% salesperson is talking and 25% is spoken by the customer. But now it is totally reverse. Not now, I mean last many years actually. So you should allow customer to speak for more than 75%. You have to ask the right questions so that you open up the customer, and then you can start talking more and start revealing more information actually. Then storytelling. I think this is very important point, because as a human being from childhood, we always love to understand, listen to the story actually. So if you are able to make a good case story, like suppose some customer has got the benefit by using your product or service, you should be able to explain those stories. I think that is more important than talking about the product feature or benefit directly. Negotiation, objection handling, closing the sale, these are all very basic requirement of a salesman, but it is being covered in the further chapters. I will try to explain more in detail. Networking and socializing. I think I try to do some research where if the salesperson is working for 10 years in the field, he come across around 2,500 people minimum, I would say. And what I understood, what is the basis of this? So if you are working 250 days in a year actually, out of 365 days the working days, at least every day you come across one person as a new person. He can be a prospect, he can be a customer, he cannot be a prospect actually. So you should be able to build the relationship with all these 2,500 contacts if you are working for 10 years in this industry. And then you should try to nurture your contacts. There is a possibility he may not be a user, but if you are building the relationship with them, then it is definitely is going to give you some recommendation, or he can actually refer to somebody. This is a very critical skill for a salesman for building more network actually. Personal grooming, I need not to tell more about the personal grooming, especially the youngsters. I think they are much better on grooming side. But I would say that there are a lot of personal grooming coach available. So if you need to have some kind of a services, you want to take some services, you should take it, because uh, I read somewhere, or maybe even I experienced, that the customer decides in first 30 second or 40 second whether I would like to buy from this particular gentleman actually. So you should be able to create that good impression in first 30 or 40 second, maybe by grooming, or by how do you behave, or how do you do the handshake, or kind of a thing. So it would be worth investing a little bit on the grooming side, or on basic behavioral thing. Rapport building is a very normal thing. I have also covered a lot of things about how to build a rapport, how to understand the person profile. and how to really create a mirror image so that the customer feels that okay, he's exactly like me actually. So when you come to that kind of a sync, you will be able to flow your information to him little bit faster, because acceptance of that customer will be much better when he feels that we are both like the same personalities actually. So there are NLP techniques also available, which is covered in book in quite detail. High level of integrity, I think it's very very important. I always recommend to go with the integral and the sell with the integrity. Don't commit to the customer wrongly, and I mean you what I can say, like you promise something and you deliver less. It should not happen that way. You should really deliver more than what you promise actually. I think this is very very important point, and always my request to you is follow the ethical practices. Never try to do unethical practices, because customers are always looking for the long term relationship. Entrepreneurship skill is one of the
Yes,
good skill where we need to
yes, yes,
maintain the entrepreneurship skills.
Sadeza.
There is some background noise coming, Jitendra. Can you just mute?
Yes,
Yes, sir. I'll attend that. Yeah.
Yeah. Third thing is a knowledge. So you need to have a domain knowledge. Uh, if you are working in a textile industry, whether you are supplying a small sensor or a big machine or something, you should have a full knowledge about the application, about the market, how is the projection of the market, what is the percentage growth of last 5 years, what is the outlook of the market, current affairs. I think you should know what is happening in the political side, or on the technology side, or on the latest model of the car, latest model of the mobiles. What is the upcoming technology, like what is meta, what is in digital marketing, what are the new things are happening, metaverse, I would say. Then basic sales and marketing process, digital marketing, basic commerce knowledge, and basic operations. So if you have a right skill, right attitude, right skill, and right knowledge, I think you will be more confident as a salesman, and you will be more convinced about your product, about yourself. And whenever you are delivering a speech, I think you will be totally different when you have all this acquired the right attitude, skill, and knowledge. Chapter 3 is talking more about the sales strategy. So how to really create a sales strategy. I try to cover some 13 steps process, how to really build a sales strategy in a very very normal way. There are no jargons, sales jargons, in a very practical way I try to explain. So what are the different strategy? So first is a corporate strategy. It provides a direction related to your purpose and mission of the organization, and it is always a long term corporate vision. It is on a horizon of 3 to 5 years to 10 years normally. Then after corporate strategies come to a business strategy, where organization make a choice is actually to achieve competitive advantage in the market. So how can I really compete in the market? How can I create more competitive advantage? And it is also a roadmap that where are we today, where do we want to go, and how we would like to reach there. I think this is called the business strategy. And sales strategy has to align with the corporate and business strategy. And it is actually a cornerstone of the overall business strategy, because uh, no sell, no business actually. So the sales strategy is very very important part of the overall corporate strategy exercise. What is a strategy? So the basic definition of strategy is about doing things differently, and about achieving competitive advantage through value differentiation. So you're able to see three different circle. One circle is the company capability. Second circle is the competitors offering, and third circle is the customer needs actually. So if you're able to see that the intersection between the company capability and the customer needs, that is called a sweet spot. So you have to define where is your sweet spot actually. So where your organization meets the customer need in a way your competitors cannot. Today, there is no possibility that competitors cannot meet this requirement, but you should try to focus more on increasing this particular sweet spot and try to focus on this area to get the better prices or to get more success in a sales. So this is actually, I will not be able to go in a step-by-step process, but this is called a sales strategy ladder. It is a 13 steps, the process where you can define your organization sales strategy step by step. And I can guarantee I have used this strategy and it has really worked quite well. So if somebody is going in a very process way, then definitely he will be able to build the right strategy. So this can be used for building up the new strategy for the products, or you can also redefine your present strategy by using this ladder. So I have given a lot of information about how to really redefine your sales strategy using this 13 steps. Chapter 4 is talking more about how to create a sales funnel of the projects. So you can see always there is a conventional strategy for salesperson that he will make a cold call and or he will make a phone call, and then he can try to meet the customer, and then he will give you some kind of excuse where, okay, you leave a catalog and I will come back to you if I need. These are all very common things. Like suppose if you're calling for appointment, he will always avoid, okay, I'm quite busy and all that. So if you are sending an email to them, many times it goes to the info@customer.com, but that info is normally going to the purchase department actually. So you're not sorry, it's not going to a purchase department, it's going to a sales department actually. So whatever the email you are sending, the introduction email, I'm sure it is not reaching to the purchase department, or maybe 50% emails are reaching there actually. So yes, email has to be sent if you are able to identify the right stakeholders, but generally sending an email to info@customer.com, I think will not be really useful. So it's a waste of time. So this is a very conventional approach of approaching the customer. So how to really build your funnel digital way, that is what I have covered in a quite detailed way actually. How to use digital marketing success metrics, so which are the different tools you have to use it actually, and how you can change yourself in a digital age. So what are the skills required to change yourself, uh, to accommodate yourself in the digital age actually. So the whatever I'm talking right now, it is normally used by B2C business to consumer, and we are already doing that, like buying something from Amazon or buying from many other e-commerce website and all that. But it's more of a B2C. But B2B companies have not really adopted this particular digital funnel in a big way. Many companies have started during COVID and they've realized actually, but many companies have come back again on a normal way. So my sincere request is the chapter 4 is quite in detail. I can confess in a process when I was writing the book during COVID, I also learned a lot of things, new things when I was doing the research, that how to really build the funnel in a digital way. So like what is a new B2B customer buying process? This is a very classic example where things are happening today or it is going to happen. So it's very important to go in quite detail. Like I will give you an example of one of the B2B prospect. Like he's identifying the problem in his company. So he's trying to Google to discover all the potential solutions and read online reviews. Okay, if somebody is facing a problem of energy saving, okay, my energy is consumption is very high, so we'll try to write something how to really save the energy on compressor, or how to save the energy on bulb, or whatever it is actually. So we will try to Google, and then he will read the reviews on Google. Then they will try to check the review about particular solution on a social media or a forum or a online contents or a blog. So they will try to refer a lot of blogs, a lot of online contents also related to energy saving actually. And during the buying process, he may also click the ad. There will be a lot of ad, like it is called a PPC, where you have to pay per click actually. So if your company has put some kind of advertisement, he can also land to your advertisement on energy saving actually, and then it might land on your website through a landing page and download the piece of information if he's looking for. Suppose if you have got some kind of a solution available to solve that problem of energy saving, then he can actually take out that piece of information from your website or from your blog or something. Based on all your information, prospect will actually make a buying decision. And in the process, he feels that yes, this company is a thought leader, or this salesman is a thought leader. He may actually reach to your company or to you to buy a product. So this is totally a different environment post-COVID, where the customers are not going to talk to you for 60 to 70% of his buying journey, and he's going to take many decisions up to 60 to 70% on online actually. So this is really a change of the game. So what are the different stage of customer buying journey? It's a hybrid of online and offline both actually. So you can see that there are four different stage. One is the awareness stage, consideration or engage stage, then nurture stage, and the decision stage. So awareness is basically like the stage where you have to create a lot of contents in the market, not about the product, but about the energy saving, that how to do energy saving actually. So how to use your equipment, how to use the equipment in a chemical industry, or if you are selling a software, then what are the key things you should take care about software, or if you are in a software, how to really take care about the cyber crime, if you are in a commercial or maybe in a fintech kind of a thing actually. So you have to create a content based on the industry, not about your particular product. And there is a website you can note down. It is called the answerthepublic.com. Answerthepublic.com is a website. If you really click on that website, and you can search on that what kind of questions customers are asking on Google. So what kind of search they are doing. So I'm giving you example once again about the energy saving. So you can go to answerpublic.com and you can write energy saving as a search. So you will get the list of questions what customer is asking, and you can create your content based on the questions. So your content should be more of a reply to those questions actually. That is called building the content during awareness. It can be a video content, it can be a audio content through podcast, it can be a microblog. So there are different ways of doing it. You can put post on the LinkedIn, you can put post on, you can create some reel on Instagram. But please be careful that in awareness stage, please don't try to sell the product. You try to sell the concept, or maybe you try to create an awareness about the industry, about the concept actually. Based on your the contents, the customer will engage with you, and that time you should talk about little bit benefit about the product actually, and you should start talking about how my product can actually give you the benefit and all that. Nurture stage is basically you have to really address his queries. If he has got a queries, you should start replying to these queries, maybe related to the product, maybe related to the concept, or related to the industry. Nurture stage is very important, because in nurture stage, you along with your competitors are also working there, and if you fail to address his queries in the nurture stage, then definitely competitor will actually take your customers even after building in the funnel so much actually. So nurture stage, you have to be very careful. And the last is the decision stage, where you have to go and close the call. It can be offline actually. So a nurture stage and decision stage can be definitely offline, where you can go and in the process, you have different kind of a query. It's called a IQL. It is called a information qualified lead. Then MQL is called a marketing qualified lead, and SQL is the sales qualified leads. So what is the difference between all three leads? So IQL is basically relatively unknown with your organization or product or services. So the prospect who is coming, who is asking the information is not really known to your product or services. MQL is basically like he's familiar with your product or services, and SQL is near to the bottom of the funnel where he is looking for your product and he is in a finalization stage with you. So your job in the process to convert IQL to a SQL, and slowly you should work with the individual prospect. So I'm giving you a summary about the complete digital toolbox, what you have to use in a different stages of the customer buying journey. You can see on the right side that buyers can go as much as 60 to 70% of their decision making process without talking to a salesman. So I'm not saying the salesman life is at risk actually. If salesman is not able to upgrade himself to understand, to align with the digital process, then definitely his life is at risk, or maybe his job is at risk. It is very important to really equip the salesperson for the complete sales process. Otherwise the inbound people, there is a called inbound and outbound actually. So inbound people will actually take over the half of the sales process, and then a salesperson will be only used for finalization of the order. Many times even customer will not even call you for the finalization of order. Maybe he can call the inbound people and he can he can finalize the order. So you can see here the different on a y-axis you are able to see different tools, digital marketing tools, and you are able to see different buying journey stages: awareness stage, consideration stage, lead nurturing stage, and decision or preference stage actually. So you can see like content marketing is used in awareness stage. SEO, it is called a search engine optimization. You can talk to marketing people; they can actually explain you about, like, when you search energy saving, your name should come, your website should come first. PPC is the ad on a website where many other the e-commerce website where customer can actually click on that PPC and he can actually go to your website directly. Social media marketing, where in a B2B, LinkedIn is very important, and Twitter is also very important when you are dealing with the CXO level people. Email marketing is still there, but there are a lot of automation tool available where you have to use the email marketing, how to really find out that how many people have really opened your email, what is the kind of click rate. So there are a lot of tools available on email marketing. What should be the draft of the email? Uh, Focus segment specific webinars, which we are already doing it. Mobile app is one of the area where a lot of companies are working on a mobile app where you can actually create a mobile app for more access to a customer about troubleshooting or about creating awareness about the segment, or and then also you can put a lot of information about the product actually. So mobile app is becoming a very good tool, a very good touch point. In a consideration stage, you can actually always put the CTA. CTA is more of a call to action. So whenever you are creating any kind of a content, then you should always have a call to action as one of the button. So if like suppose you read some article on energy saving, so then you should have at the last one call to action button called if you need more information, click on this. So when he click on this, then there will be some email ID is coming, and then he can write something, or maybe he can take you to the website, or he can take to your product or something. The call to action is very, very important whenever you are doing any kind of a email marketing or any kind of a social media or anything. It's very, very important. Landing page, you have to create a landing page along with the CTA. Flash Telegram group, you can actually create a Flash Telegram group of your prospect or of your customers, because there is no limitation there actually. So you can have some kind of a broadcasting group where you can actually broadcast the information as soon as you get more information available. Micro videos, you have got maybe you can create some 2-minute video or 3-minute video, and then you can send it through email, or you can send it through WhatsApp or through Telegram. So new sales pitch in a digital age. I'm not reading that, but this is a good pitch. What should be the pitch in a digital age? It is there in page number 98 of the book. Very interesting pitch. So what are the new skills required by a salesman to a new digital age? So one is the digital marketing process. You should be able to understand, need to align the buying journey and the sales process. Definitely. You have to align the sales process with the customer buying journey. You have to nurture the customers or prospect during each stage. You would also learn how to create a content like a success stories. You have to also understand what kind of digital marketing tool available, and how to really predict your sales. Seamless working with inbound marketing. Learn to engage with the prospect on social media and capturing a social behavior of leads. You can also learn how to create a micro videos, how to create how to deliver the webinars. Revamp your traditional elevator speech, like, okay sir, so and so, I'm so and so from so and so company, and we give some kind of a solution. No, that is not a traditional I mean, that is not a right speech in a digital age. So you need to have completely a new elevator pitch in a digital age. And align your buying, and I think I already covered that, align buying and sales process. Chapter 5 is talking about how to qualify the right prospect. So what I covered earlier, we many times salespeople, we run behind the wrong leads, and we end up having a frustration actually. So I would recommend strongly that you should actually qualify the customer before you approach, qualify the prospect before you go to that customer. So how to qualify the prospect? So there are two aspects of qualifying the prospect. One is how much financial impact on an organization be created by the prospect in the long term. So how much the prospect can actually deliver financial impact to your organization. Financial impact is not only a sale, how much, what is the payment terms, what is the kind of gross margin you are able to earn, what is the kind of CLV is called a customer lifetime value actually. So is he going to buy only once, or is going to buy for next 5 years or next 10 years? So this is going to be a long-term financial impact on the organization. That is one aspect. Second aspect is level of efforts required by the salesman to convert the prospect. So how much efforts you're going to put to convert that customer? Suppose if you're going to work for 2 years for that particular customer, so is it really worth going to that customer? Or if he's buying some cheap product and you are actually selling some kind of a product which is more valuable product, so should you really go to that particular customer or not? So I think this is very, very important to list down these aspects, and I have clearly defined what are the different aspects of financial impact and what are the efforts you required for converting that customer. So that is a detailed list, and I'm going to create some kind of a calculator. So you can actually give a weightage on each parameter, and you can create some kind of a marking system. So let's say if you put all the marks with that particular prospect, and if you cross more than 300, then you should go for that customer. Otherwise, you should not go for that customer actually. So there is a 2x2 matrix where you can understand that, okay, it's a highly profitable, easy to deal, or is it highly profitable but it's very hard to deal. So this is quite explaining more in detail. Okay, before you now, once you qualify the customer, now you have to actually understand your customer quite well. So when you open your account in bank, or if you make any security account, is your know your customer actually. So here is also very applicable, and it is called KYCW. So how well you know your customer is very important. Many times you get a call from a customer that you send me the price of so and so product, and then we simply send the offer without even knowing what is his application and all that, or what is his market and how is he going to buy and all that. So my strong recommendation is to really go in the detail of the product usage and application. So if you're selling a X product, you should know how the product is usage in that particular machine. Or if he's selling to end customer directly, you should know exactly the application of that particular product. What is their vision, mission, long-term vision? I'm sure you will be able to find out from the website. Third point is, what are their financials? If it is a big customer, you should do all this analysis. If it's a small customer, you can actually limit your analysis to only limited parameters. Financial of last 3 to 5 years, and what is their growth and profitability. You can also find out what are the internal and external stakeholders, because in a B2B, there is always a difference between B2C and B2C. B2C is the decision maker is only one or two, husband and wife, or husband and the father and child kind of a thing. But in B2B, there is a panel starting from the decision maker to the gatekeeper to the sponsor to a technical expert, and there are many things actually. So you should be able to many times even the CXO is not involved in certain decisions actually. So you have to really understand the influencing and decision percentage for individual internal, external. Okay, in a project selling, there will be a lot of external key stakeholders. Like it can be a contractor, it can be a consultant, it can be the parent company who is sitting in Germany. So you have to really identify who are all those stakeholders even before you approach that customer, or even before you give the offer. The production data, what are the production data in terms of machines, tonnage per day, number of plants, location. Go to the market strategy, who are their end customers, who are their major competitors, what is their standing in the market compared to competitor. Then what is the customer value chain? So if he's manufacturing some chemical, so what is his value chain? Like what is the raw material, what is the processing, and what is the output of it actually. So I'm sure you will say that, okay, there are so many things to be found out. But when you are dealing with large customer, and when you are working on a bigger project, I think it is very important to know about the customer. Then before going, you have to also prepare the list of questions actually. So what are the questions you have to make for senior management? What are the questions you have to make for middle and senior junior management? I remember that when I was in a front line, before I go to the customer, I used to make in the diary the note of the questions what I'm going to ask, and the questions, and then I keep always one line open to write the answer actually. So when I go to the customer, I open that pad and then I start asking one by one questions, and then I write actually. Would be difficult to go in the detail about the questions, but you need to really prepare well before you go for any kind of a sales call, even the cold call or the first call. Understanding the profile of the person is very important. It is called a DISC tool. Many people are already using it, and it's a very proven tool actually. So each person, including me, has got a different profile. So that's a normal profile of the person, how you behave. I will give you a simple example. Like one example is like the person on S, steadiness kind of a profile. Those people are actually working in a company for a long time, maybe working for 20 years, 25 years, 10 years kind of a thing actually. So they are very sincere and loyal actually. They are very patient, they are very modest, consistent, and service oriented people actually. So how to deal with such people is very important. So where you have to define your communication strategy, where you have to go and give a reference list. You have to always give a assurance that, okay, I'm there to support you when there is a if you're going with my product, you need not to really worry about it. You have to tell, okay, I'm going to keep some spares at your end, so you are not worried about it actually. So this is a kind of a security profile or steadiness profile where you have to understand that their body language. When they do the shake hand, I think the shake hand is not very firm shake hand actually. So you'll be able to understand who are the as kind of a profile. Opposite to that, you can see that there is a profile called dominant profile. Now you'll be able to understand that who are the dominant profile, the director of the company, or maybe finance director of the company, or the technical expert. You'll be able to understand when you do the handshake. There will be a very firm handshake actually. So they are the risk taker. So they will always believe in a new technology. So they will be the first to try the new technology. You can always say that, sir, we have come up with a new technology. He is the person who will always admire new technology. He will say, okay, I would like to be first to use the technology. So that is how I have written a lot of explanation about how to find the profile, different profile of the people, and how to behave in such a way that the customer feels here, "Arey, ye mere jaisa hi banda hai." So he feels like it's a mirror effect actually. So there are some NLP techniques also I try to put in a mirroring techniques and all that. It's quite in detail. This is a very proven technology, also proven tactics, and it is working 100%. I would say 90% it is working fine. And if you practice this, definitely you will be successful. I think it's very, very important because people say that people sell to people actually. You are not selling to a machine. So they would like to, if the products are same, they would like to buy from the people they always like actually. So when you adjust your profile exactly like a customer, he will definitely like you, and that time you can give all your information, all your technical things, all your pricing and all that way. So your the sales journey will be reduced drastically. How to acquire new customers in a B2B environment? I will not be able to go in line by line actually, but I have covered three different aspects of it. So one is how to really acquire the OEM customer, the machine builder actually. What is the step-by-step process? How to acquire the project sales or end customer when you are dealing with a company like Aditya Birla or JSW or any big projects, what we are going to cement company, you're buying the project, what should be our approach, what should be our before bid and after bid, what should we do, how to acquire your partners or dealers effectively. So there is a process you can actually remember the process called SDCRPC. So this process is actually applicable on all three, like OEM, partner, and projects. Like first step is a stakeholder mapping. Second is a discover, prospect, recognize and unrecognized needs, confirmation by prospect and need or wants, reveal the prospect benefits if solved, prove that your product and service can solve their challenges, and concurrence from the prospect. So this is the simple process. What there is a lot of list of questions what you can ask during the discovery and value delivery process. Discovery is nothing but asking questions and discover more from the customer. It is part of the value selling exercise. So there are steps how to really acquire the new channel partners. Then there are steps of acquiring the project sales and customer or capital equipment business. So pre-bid stage, what are the activities we should do when the project is on a planning stage, and post-bid or in a tendering stage, what you should do actually. So there is a very clearly defined process I have covered in my chapter number 6. There is a success ladder for acquiring a customer, step-by-step process, and it's a very proven step process. You can actually go one by one, and you can definitely be successful in acquiring the customer. Chapter 7 is talking about objections. So generally, salespeople are worried about the objections, and they normally react to the objection immediately when customers are really raising the objections actually. So how to really behave while handling the objections? what are the seven effective and practical steps to handle the objections. And I also covered frequently asked objections, so FAO. Generally, you are talking about FAQs, right? Frequently asked questions, but here I have covered FAO, frequently asked questions. So there are more than, I think, 12 or 13 different general objections what customer can ask, and what are the probable reply, option one, option two, which can be generalized for across the product. So I think you can see on the bottom, the objections are always a best friend of a salespeople. Many times we are worried about the objections, but we should not be worried. They are actually friend for us. Why? Because they can actually lead to us to the end, lead the customer to the end of the sales funnel. If you are able to handle those objections carefully. If you are not able to handle, then actually you are out of the game. So this is very, very important to handle the objections in a systematic way. And here, the listening skill is very, very, very important, where you have to talk only 20% and the customer has to speak only, customer has to speak 70%, 75% actually. So it's quite proven methods what I have covered in chapter 7. There is I mean, you can remember that as a ALS PECC, ALPC kind of the steps actually. So ask the question, ask or confirm the questions and repeat it. Listen them patiently and tell me more. Instead of reacting, just note down on the pad actually. Summarize all objections once all objections are over. So you empty the bottle of the customer, like tell me, sir, what are the other options, what are the other issues, so at one point of time, definitely customer will be exhausted, and then he will say, oh, no, that's all right now. Then the park the biggest objection temporarily. You will say that, okay, your prices are too high. Then you park it for some time actually. Then you tell him always that, okay, I will come back to you on this particular question. Then show the empathy to the prospect. You always say that, yes, I understand all your issues. Clarify and overcome the objections in a one by one way actually. If you are not able to cover all the objections in one sitting, you can always say that, sir, I will come back during the next call actually, and get the concurrence from the customer if the objections are addressed. Suppose if you're able to address the objection, you can always say that, okay, now tell me, sir, if I'm able to address all the objections actually. Chapter 8, once you have completed your objections and all that, the chapter 8 is called negotiation and closing the sale. I think this is the end of the funnel actually, where we are always looking for the negotiation and closing the sale and getting the order actually. So I will not be able to cover this because of the paucity of time, but definitely you can go through the book or you can approach me. We can discuss more in detail. So what I have covered is how can we know that customer is giving a buying signal, various kind of closing. So how to really close it, because customer will try to delay or something. So there are around 12 different kind of a closing what I have covered in the book. 7 practical tips to be prepared before the price negotiation. What are the preparation you should do it, and 6 powerful steps to be followed during price negotiation. And I think it's a very, very important part of the whole sales process to get the better price from the customer, or at least to win the order. After getting the order, it's always there, like chapter 9 is called retaining your customers, and how to grow that customer, or how to see that that customer is there with you for longer time actually. So you have to really calculate the customer life cycle value. If the customer is today of 1 crore, so if he's buying for, let's say, next 3 years or 5 years, then it becomes a life cycle value. It's called 5 crore actually. So that is how you have to understand the life cycle value, and also you should try to educate your supporting department, like after sales service or maybe design department or any other internal department who are on a support role, to explain that this is the value, life cycle value of the customer. Various stages of customer evaluation, and the cross selling and upselling. Cross selling is basically like if you are selling the laptop to the customer, how can you sell a printer? If you're selling a laptop to a customer, how can you sell the software actually? Upselling is more like if you're selling a software version 2, how can you sell a version 3? So you have to always try to find more cross-selling and upselling opportunity with the customer. This is one model what I have covered. It is called a Pbcv model. So it is called the product or service provider, or you are a commodity supplier, or you are a value adder, or you are a business partner. So your aim, you should always try to find out that as a customer, as a vendor, where are you with your customer in the whole out of this 4 quadrant. So are you a business partner, or are you just a commodity supplier where, okay, you just sell and then you forget, you sell and forget. If you are a value adder, so there are some techniques that how to really reach to the, our aim should with all customers should reach to a last quadrant called a business partner actually. So I think this is a very, very important partner where customer will have a high loyalty and you will be able to retain your customer to a longer time. So these are all the different stages of customer evaluation, which everybody, we all know. So first time customer to a repeat customer to a loyal customer to an advocate customer to a business partner. So advocate customer is like he will go and advocate for yourself actually. So it is called a NPS. There is some survey called a NPS. It is called a Net Promoter Score. So there is one question you can actually ask him, that how likely you will recommend my product or my company to others. This is a very one question what you can actually ask, and based on the answer from the customer, you can actually understand that what is your NPS score. It's very, very important, and I would recommend that every organization should actually do the NPS at least once in a year or once in 3 years kind of a thing. And also every year or every 2 years, you should have a CPS kind of a customer perception survey, where you can actually ask a lot of questions to a customer, and then you can try to redefine your processes or a support system so that customer is very happy to deal with you and on a continuous basis. This is a complete summary of the B2B sales process, which is covering from chapter 4 to chapter 9 actually. So I will not be able to go in quite detail, but I think it's a step-by-step process, and if you follow this, I can guarantee you that your chances of success will be very, very high. The last customer buying journey, how it is actually moving to a hybrid model called online to offline. So you can see that I have tried to superimpose the customer buying journey and the different tools during the journey. I think it's a very exhaustive slide. You can refer in the book a little later, but you can try to understand that these are the different stages of the customer buying journey to a business partner. So customer awareness journey, to engagement, to a nurture stage, to a decision making, then it becomes a first time customer, then repeat customer, then a loyal customer, advocate, and the business partner actually. So you can try to see that like how the different tools are used in a different stages of the customer. So I'll give you a simple example, like when you are in a engagement stage, then you are actually using the blog. When you are on the engagement and the nurture stage, in between you are actually using the website landing page. You are using a SEO during a nurture stage. Micro video, you are using it here. Telegram group, email. Then you can see that one, your customer has become the first time customer. You are using the CPS called a customer perception survey. Then you can actually build a chatbot for the customer for easy communication, or somebody has to see that, okay, very basic services he would like to see, like to see the stock level of that particular product. You can actually create a chatbot without any human intervention. You can do the training webinars, how to use the product, how to do the do's and don'ts. Then you can actually have a newsletter. You can give it to all the customers. Then you have an NPS, which are already covered. Then you can have a training webinars. Then you can have a joint promotion webinars. I think this is very, very important stage where you have reached to a business partner stage where you can have a joint promotion seminar. Suppose if there is an equipment manufacturer company, then actually you can promote your product together with the equipment. Actually, suppose if it's a compressor manufacturer company and you're selling some product to them, you can actually build the webinar as a joint webinar. So that is called a business partner, where you're helping each other to grow your product in a business partner. Last but not the least, the chapter 10 is called managing the work-life balance, and I think this is a key area where all salesmen, including myself, we all have passed through a phase where we are not able to, or we were not able to manage the work-life balance. And I've written a lot of reasons for stress and how to keep under check. Then this is called a wheel of life. Would be very difficult to go in the detail about each different spokes, but this is called the health, work, social development, recreation, family, and life planning. Actually, so these are the different spokes of the individual life, and you have to see that how balanced you are on all the spokes of life. So many times we are able to meet our targets and we are doing quite well in our career, but we are not able to focus on health, we are not able to focus on family, or our financial planning is quite bad, or we are not able to connect with our friends, or spiritual, we are not able to spare some time and all that. So I think it is a time for sales people, or everybody, I would say, that you need to plot your wheel of life like a spider graph, actually. So you're able to see that the blue line, I'm just giving you some typical wheel of life, present and aspired. So present is basically blue, where you're able to see that work is work towards, is more of a skew kind of the wheel of life there. You're able to see that it becomes like a small triangle kind of the present wheel of life, uh, but your aspiration is making a little bit more balance, so you're able to see it becomes more balanced life. So there is a gap between the red and blue, which you need to really work on, and I have actually given a very clear idea that how can you really bridge the gap between your blue and red line. And I can guarantee that after implementing this, you will come and tell, yes, I am able to now balance my work-life balance. And many readers have come and told me that thank you for this particular chapter, because it's a crucial part of any salesman, or any entrepreneur, or any businessman, actually. So that is all about my book, which I try to cover. It's available on Amazon, and this is the QR code for, or you can search on B2B Sales Transformation. You will find it. I think it's 4.4 star or something, and with some 73 or 75 reviews. We Indians, I think we shy away by giving the reviews. There are a lot of readers are giving me reviews in person, but they are shying away by not providing on reviews. So I would request, if any readers are here of my book, actually, I would request that go and upload on the Amazon. What is the future roadmap on this particular book? I'm working on converting this book to a audible book. So it will be converted in the audio book, and I'll put on a Storytel and Audible. So you can be connected with me, and you will get an update about this. My plan is to do it by end of this year. What is other roadmap? I'm coming up with a new book. This is pre-launch book. The B2B sales transformation book was specially for the frontline sales people, or the businessman, actually, on a step-by-step process to acquiring the customer and retaining the customer, and how to balance your work-life balance. This particular book is specially for sales leaders or entrepreneurs, where how to really lead and transform and build the world-class sales team. And this is a very important aspect of the sales leadership, because many times the sales leaders are very good in go and get the order, but they are facing a challenge in getting the work done through a sales team, and how to coach and how to build the team actually. So I try to cover many aspects of building the team and taking the team to a next level. This book can be also very useful to aspiring sales leaders. If somebody is already in a front line and would like to become a sales leader. uh, Third point is I'm coming up with the B2B sales podcast, and my target date to launch the podcast, B2B sales podcast, on 30th of September. So please be connected with me on LinkedIn or email or the other way, so that you will get update on this. And I'm planning to have at least one or two episodes every month. It is a challenging because of I'm also working, but I'm definitely committing myself to do this. Actually, uh, you can connect on me on a Facebook group. I've created some group, not very active, but I would like to make very active group actually. LinkedIn, you can connect me directly on that. Website is B2B Sales Transformation 2.0.com. The book recap is available around 10 pages or something, is a recap or small ebook available on this website. So you can actually take that particular book on or free. Basically, it's a free of cost. It's available, so you can get some kind of a summary of all the things what I talk about actually. So that's all from my side. Jitender, over to you.
Yes, Mr. Dani, thank you so much. I think last 50 to 55 minutes were like a booster shot in the arm, because you have covered such an exhaustive topic, uh, covering entire steps in the sales funnel in just 55 to 60 minutes. I think that is something which is really fascinating. And I myself, being from the sales business development background, I understand this is just a kind of a glimpse of the entire book. But I, based on that, I can actually surely consider and recommend this book to the frontline salesperson as a guide along with the diary note. It is something which requires an continuous practice, conscious efforts to go forward. This 45, 60 minutes have been just a kind of a glimpse to understand how important and crucial this book is, and why we should actually consider this. I would recommend everyone to do consider this book as a part of your sales exercise. Thank you once again. I think now, without much ado, I would request the attendees to proceed with question and answers. I think there must be plenty of them. So I just to inform everyone that your mic and camera is disabled. If you have any questions, just raise your hands using an emoji, which is part of MS Teams. My team will assist you in enabling your camera and mic so that you can directly interact with the author and ask questions. In fact, by the time any question comes, in fact, I have one question to start with.
Sure.
Mr. Dani, I think your book really presented all the action points as to what one needs to take. But since it is such a wide scope, one has to take in very conscious efforts. Maybe based on your experience, how should one be stick to those steps? Because to start with, somebody can make a kind of an error or a mistake, and it may take some time for a person to to follow these steps. How that discouragement can be kept at bay, so that you don't lose trust in it, all these steps. Maybe from your experience, how, because you mentioned you have followed this practice and it has reaped benefits for you. Maybe you can just touch upon that.
No, I think it is called a discipline actually. So it's very important to keep a discipline, and it's a change management, because I was on a front line, so I know that I was doing exactly the same thing what the conventional sales people are doing it. But then I was more conscious about following the steps, preparing well, making a pad. I mean, the questions in the pad. Those kind of things are very, very important actually. So it's more of a discipline, and I would say that if somebody is buying the book, my request to you is go chapter by chapter, because many times when we read the book, we always try to see that okay, what is the end of the book. This is not a story book where what is going to be end actually. So you have to go strategy, that you have to go on a building sales funnel, and so that is exactly the process what you have to follow. And I strongly believe that people always say that sales is an art. I would say that sales is actually science and the process. So if you follow the process, then definitely I can actually guarantee that if somebody is following this process, then he will 90% of chance he will be successful. And I'm ready to actually be challenged by anybody, because I'm going to do the sales podcast also. So there will be a lot of ask me anything questions, ask me anything program and all that actually. So I'm going to take this particular movement to a next level by educating or maybe making salespeople more disciplined actually. So it is doable. Definitely, it is doable. Only you have to keep some patience. And since people are generally by profession, we are not really patient actually. So, but it is possible for sure. I think you are mute. So, Jitendra, you are mute. There are some questions coming up by.
Yeah,
Uh,
we have we have question from Mr. Rohit Tofkane. I have enabled the mic and camera. Mr. Rohit, you can proceed with the question. We are going with the order in which the questions have come in. So, Mr. Rohit, you can go first. Over to you. Rohit, you can hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me, Mr. Jitendra?
yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. First of all, Jitendra and Mr. Mani, I think, I'm interacting on this platform after a very long time. And maybe, Mr. Jitendra, I'm interacting with you for the first time, but I know BDB and Mr. Mani and Mr. Manish Kulkarni for quite some years now. In fact, BDB has assisted me in a lot of projects related to market research in the past. And Mr. Dani, it was really an excellent 1 hour, because I've been for the last 26 years in a journey of, B2B, and I can
Thank you.
understand from a sales person, as a frontline salesperson to a sales leader, the journey is quite an interesting one, an exciting one, and a challenging one. I'm going to want to be the one who is going to definitely buy your book. I wanted to know whether there are other books that you have, published beforehand. And this basically because I got this 2.0. So I was a bit intrigued whether there is a 1.0 also with you, or which you have published before.
No, 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 no. Good question, actually. Because 2.0 was, see, what is the background of this book is during COVID. The book was written during COVID, actually. So I used my 4 or 5 months to, it was started, I think, in month of May 2020 when we were under the strict lockdown, and launched in September. So I was always wondering that if there is a such kind of a shutdown situation or lockdown, how I'm going to sell, or how the salespeople are going to sell. And I was thinking, I was searching a lot of things, and then I came to know about this building sales funnel and all that. So the 2.0 is basically a new way of selling in B2B, not because I've done something on 1.0 actually.
Okay.
So it's a new way of selling in the B2B market.
Okay, fine. Another question related to this is that how do you see platforms like Salesforce and all integrating right now? Means are you, in your experience actually using such a platform, or how do you see them, coming? Because I see a lot of, uh, this thing around Salesforce for sales teams and all. A lot of companies have started using it, but, Do you have any experience per se personally on this, or what is your
Yeah, I
opinion
have
on
no.
such platforms?
Yes, yeah, I have actually in my second book, which I explain about sales leadership transformation. I'm going to cover CRM in quite detail actually. I
Okay.
have the experience. I have also seen Salesforce. There are a lot of good features of Salesforce. I have actually worked as a frontline as well as a sales leader, so I'm able to appreciate the challenges of even frontline salesperson. So my only request to every sales leaders or the business owners is, I think the sales team should not feel such tool as a policing. They should not feel that my boss or my organization is trying to policing. Actually, the sales tool should be more of an enabler than the watching or monitoring the customer, or sorry, monitoring the salesman. So I will give you example like Salesforce has got one tool where actually you can integrate the mobile phone of every salesman. So you can actually monitor that very easy today. Now such features are not good because you're trying to do the policing. Instead of that, you should try to motivate the salesman so that you need not to really monitor on a day-to-day basis or hour-to-hour basis. So there are, I mean, there are n number of features available. You should try to use the feature which are really useful actually, and sales team should not really keep them like my boss or my organization is trying to monitor me continuously. So definitely it is used, and my only second request is try to use those features which is actually helping a salesman to move from one stage to other stage. Let's say I've explained about 13 steps or 15 steps
Yes.
of the sales process. So try to use those steps only, not all the list, because see what they've done, they've created a tool which is applicable for so many varieties of it can be applicable to an MR also, it can be applicable to many other organization actually. So
Yeah.
this is my recommendation actually.
Thank you once again, Mr. Dani, and it was really a very interesting session. You know, I look forward to further interaction with you, maybe on LinkedIn, on Facebook,
Sure,
in the
sure,
near future. Right.
sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate, thank you.
Mr. Jitender, you can move to the next person. I have done.
Hello.
There is one more person, I think.
Hello. Can you
Yes.
hear me, sir?
Yes, please.
Hello. Bhadreji.
Yes,
Hello.
yes. Yeah, yeah.
What an excellent coverage in a small 1 hour. You've covered the entire spectrum canvas of B2B. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, it was
Thank you, sir.
really
Thank
good.
you.
Wonderful. I'm myself a consultant, trainer, and teacher, and author also. So
Oh,
I can relate to it. I've written 3 books on CRM, sir. So it's very
oh.
interesting to
I would love to connect with you, sir,
I
to
have
learn more
just
about
a
CRM.
request on LinkedIn. I'm sure we'll connect. Yeah, we would
Sure,
like
sure.
to collaborate. Great. Just few, so many points are coming to my mind, but I need to be brief because I need to ask question. But actually, I had a question which the previous person asked about CRM platforms, and you gave a fantastic answer. I totally agree with you that CRM platforms should be enablers and not be policing tool. So superb. I would recommend, I don't know if you have seen and others also, there's a platform called Monday.com. Have you heard about it, sir?
No, no, no.
It's an amazing platform and a very, very user friendly. See, today, why, people don't use it because, these tools, whatever prevalent, Zoho or Salesforce, they're not very user friendly. Whereas Monday is extremely user friendly. So I would recommend just to, with your permission and adding to, what you have said, sir. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Uh, but my small question is, but before that, I just wanted to give my view on art, science, and I say that sales is art, science, and philosophy. myself, and I believe salespeople should get their due respect in the organization, sir, which they don't get, and we all should fight for it. They're so important. They're the only revenue earning function in organization. But we know how sales is being treated. They command respect. I'm sorry. I'm but sir, my question is that do you look at approach to be different for when you're talking about product sales and service sales? So have you discussed in the book about it? Say, for example, there is a solar panel manufacturer and there is a IT services company. How do you look at it, sir?
So I have covered some part of even services also, actually, not in quite detail because my experience on software selling is quite limited. So the major part is on a hardware side, actually. But like retaining customer and all that, I think it's covering the full aspect of it, where it is covering all the aspect. Like I explained about cross-selling, upselling. It's a software for sure, actually. So
yeah.
but
Yes.
the point is, I mean, the steps what I have created, it's more in a general actually. So
I agree.
most of the steps you can actually correlate with any kind of a B2B product. I mean, I would say that 70-80% you can try to correlate for sure.
Perfect. I totally agree with you. Only difference is that because the intangibility that comes into a service product, it makes it difficult to,
No, that another book which I'm thinking maybe in a fourth book or maybe third book, maybe the customer experience transformation, especially on a B2B. So that I will be talking as a separate because it's a huge topic actually, and it's changing in a digital age again. The way marketing is changing, I think service is also changing, and the expectation of customers are really changing in a digital age. I mean, they want the response time in minutes, not in hours.
That's true. That's true. Wonderful. Thank you so
Sir,
much.
on the importance of sales, I don't know whether you were in the starting of the presentation. If you really see the dedication, actually, I have given a dedication to the sales team. The book dedicated to a sales team or sales profession, I would say.
Right.
So I said that, okay, in the COVID, no sales, everybody is suffering. So every steps, wherever you are traveling, wherever you are going, everywhere sales is happening actually. So in fact, the first chapter is actually covering the steps, the importance of sales. What sales is doing for the organization, for the nation, for the community, for everybody actually. So I really appreciate what you are talking about, and it's a first page or second step, and many sales readers have actually appreciated, and they called me and they said, yes, you've done really fantastic, because the book authors, they don't write such thing, because people always say the doctor is having a noble profession. So I have actually written that sales is equally a noble profession because you're a social entrepreneur actually. So you're creating a joy and happiness of the associated family, right? If nobody sells, how you are running your family, how you are running your nation. So
right.
no GDP, nothing. So
they say that nothing happens unless someone sells something to somebody somewhere.
Perfect. Right.
Thank you so much, sir. Wonderful interacting.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Mr. Karthikudi, the app that you mentioned, how do you spell that? Is it monday.com?
Proper Monday. Sunday, Monday wala Monday.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for your question. Yeah.
Sure.
We have another question from what I can see is just Rohit. I request if you can actually introduce yourself also, and your mic and camera is enabled. I wonder whether it's the same Rohit or something. Hello, Rohit, you can hear us? Yeah.
No, I think the gentleman name was Rohit only, in my opinion.
Yes. Okay. So we'll proceed with the last question. We have Mr. Rahul Bandurge.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Okay, this is Rohit only, but not the previous gentleman who was Rohit.
Okay. Sorry for that.
Okay. So I'll just give you a kind of a brief background about myself. My name is Rohit. I was earlier associated as a vice president and head HR with a joint venture of Siemens and Mitsubishi.
So can
And
you speak a little bit louder, please, if you don't
okay,
mind?
okay. So I was associated earlier with the joint venture of Siemens and Mitsubishi as a vice president and head HR.
Okay.
And I have been also working with different kind of organizations. Apart from leading the HR role, also in a kind of a business strategist role. So, first of all, it was really wonderful, Mr. Bhadresh, the way you had put it across. And it is kind of overwhelming then when we come to know how, you go ahead and you proceed with the kind of selling skills. So this was something fantastic, and this can probably, help a kind of a large scale audience also to go ahead and get this thing, the books in hand. Only one question is that this kind of presentation that you have actually shown, probably this is something which would be helpful for the kind of audience that I would like to show it out to them. So apart from getting your hands on the book, is there any way that the way you presented this presentation, we can also refer to that, just in case after the call, if I get in touch with you, so that we can help them, because you've explained it in a very crisp way. See, reading a book is a different way, but once you get that kind of an explanation through the kind of presentation that you gave, I think that was more helpful. So, is that possible that we can reach out to you and stuff?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? Actually, I'm the purpose of writing this book is actually I'm on a mission
Mhm.
to help around 100,000 B2B sales professionals.
Amazing.
So I will definitely do it. I mean, it will be part of my mission. So I'll be really helpful. I mean, it will be really helpful for me. Uh,
Sure.
Definitely, I will share. I mean, to your surprise, my book is bought by one of my competitors actually, who are my present competitor. So,
Okay.
so
I'm sure.
it's an open secret actually. So,
And another thing is that by when are you planning to release this leadership thing that you mentioned about the next step or the next course of action that you have on your way? Because I would be
I think
also
another 2 months time. I would say to September, October, and roughly.
okay, fair enough.
Because
But
my index is already ready. I've started writing also, but in this process, actually, I'm going to do some kind of a survey of people. So
Mhm.
survey of the sales executives, or survey of the CXO, or survey of the sales leaders actually. So uh,
Okay, that's fantastic. So I'll keep in touch with you, and it's an
sure.
awesome thing that you've put it across, and it's like overwhelming and really a good to know thing. So very
Thank you, sir.
helpful.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, we will take up the last question from Mr. Rahul Bandurge, who is the Vice President Business Development from BDB India Private Limited. Rahul, over to you.
Yes, thanks, Jitendra. Bhadresh sir, good afternoon to you.
Hello, how are Rahul?
And
I want to see you actually. Can you switch on your camera? Long time. Hello.
just give me a minute.
Not a problem.
Are you
If
able to
it's not comfortable, no problem. Please.
are,
Okay, good.
are you able to see
Yes,
me now,
yes,
sir?
yes, yes. Nice to see you. For a long time.
Great, sir, great. Great to hear you actually today. And it was kind of rehearsing that book again, which I have read. So now a point came to me is that when you said you're on a mission of 100,000 salespeople, so I'm one among them actually who you have helped, and
Sure.
all 10 chapters. The basic key point was that every chapter has a recap, which is a very self-explanatory way. Only one last question. So that was the one thing, and then I have also put the review to your book, which I have read. My one question to you is that, or I would say, if you can help me to understand, is that if you can suggest for young professionals like a sales professional, what are those top three messages you would like to do to stay, motivated for doing sales on a day-on-day basis?
I think only one message I would like to say, that how to keep themselves motivated. Being a marathon runner, uh, as a marathon runner, what I do, I always look at my finish line actually. So if I'm
Okay.
running, let's say half marathon or a full marathon or ultra marathon, every day morning when I get up from the bed, I always look at, okay, I'm actually like on the cross line, the finish line of the marathon race. So for a salesman, I think is a target is the finish line,
Yes.
or maybe the, I would say that next level. Let's say if somebody is having 5 years experience, he would like to see, let's say, vice president of sales in next 10 years time. I want to become a VP of sales actually. So that should be his finish line. So then, what
Okay.
to do to achieve that? He has to start following. In fact, I have tried to cover that in my chapter 10. That how to
Looking
really
forward to
plan
that.
your career from one stage to other stage, and how to plan yourself for next 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years horizon. Start doing your competency mapping. Let's say, being a leader, what kind of competencies are required? What is your my gaps? How can I build that? Discuss with your manager and ask him, okay, I would like to become that. Those kind of things. I think. There's only one line is a finish line. One
Finish line.
message is a finish line. So
Oh,
no other message,
thank
I
you.
would say. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that word.
Yeah.
Looking forward
Yeah.
to your second book.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Rahul. Mr. Dani, of course, we have covered the time, but there is one question, if you don't mind, would you like to take that? This is questions from Chubangi Pawar.
No, sure. Why not?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dani. I'm Shubhangi Pawar. I'm working for the Certec and I'm leading the laboratory. And nowadays I started working for the sales also, being a technically strong. So my question is that being a lady, diversity still in India, the diversity is not that much extent is accepted by the customer. So whenever I'm going and visit the customer, I'm facing a little bit problem to approach the people. People slightly avoid to talk with me. Being a lady, they don't have the practice to communicate with the more ladies at the shop floor and other part of department. So will you help me how I can deal with them?
I think it's a good question and important question, definitely. But I have come across many female salesmen, or maybe I have seen couple of even a level of vice president who are in sales actually. So uh, I don't have a very clear immediate answer for that. I need to really think about it. Maybe you can connect with me on my LinkedIn, and we can I can think about it, because I don't have a very immediate answer. But I would only say one thing is like you should remove something from your mind, that okay, I am a lady salesman, or I am a male salesman, kind of a thing. You behave in a very natural way. So if you start removing from your mind, I think your behavior will be also very normal behavior, and then people will definitely start accepting it actually. I mean, this is what is my immediate take, I would say. Because many times what we think, what we believe, I mean, what we behave. If somebody is saying, okay, I'm not successful, then definitely you will not be successful. So if you believe that, okay, some customers are behaving this way, then definitely I think you will always have a that kind of a feeling. Maybe two customers are not behaving proper way, but the 8 customer out of 10 maybe doing a better way. So you have to just think about only 8, not 10, not 2 actually. But I will think, and I will definitely reply you. Please connect with me on LinkedIn and send me a message on this, please. Sorry, I'm not able to give any immediate answer, because this is not part of. I have not really thought of it, but maybe I can try to cover in my podcast when I'm going to launch. Actually, this can be one of the challenge. So we'll try to cover that.
Yes, Mr. Dani, thanks a lot. But what you told me that it's okay. From my side, I think so, though I'm a little bit open also, and it's my behavior is natural only. But still, my experience I just share with you what challenges I am
But
facing.
suppose if I may ask you, let's say if you are meeting 10 customers, out of 10 customer, what is your success? I mean, success in the sense, I mean, you are not feeling customer is trying to avoid or something. Or out of 10 customer, how many customers are avoiding you?
My experience is the 50. Because what happens, I'm meeting to I want to introduce our products at the shop floor, and I'm just want to get information from the shop floor, what challenges they are facing, and what can I give the better solutions to them. So that's why I'm meeting to the shop floor first, and then I'm going to the manager level. But shop floor interaction is very less, and the people don't want to interact. They have started looking at my colleagues and they are answering them. Even I have asked the question. So that's kind of the thing. So if you'll give a little bit solution for that, definitely I will connect with you.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for some of the solutions from you.
Sure.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you,
Excellent
madam.
session. Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
I mean, before you close, I would like to say thank you to all the participants for sparing the morning time with us. And I would request, I mean, if you can connect with me, and also I will try to share my podcast details so you will know more about the book, or maybe new challenges. You can actually throw some more challenges to me. I can try to cover, which is also not covered in my book actually. Over to you, Jitendra. Thank you.
Yes. Wonderful session, sir. Once again, I would, as I already mentioned, it was such a fascinating one. Just a moment. Yes. So thank you, Mr. Dani, once again for such a wonderful session. And so before we close, there is one important announcement that we have for our upcoming book club session. And I'll be sharing my screen shortly. Yes, this is about what is gonna come coming month. Kindly confirm if you are able to see my screen. Yes. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes. So what we have coming up on in our next book club session is a very prominent personality, Dr. Naushad Forbes, on his new book, The Struggle and the Promise, which talks about the potential that he sees in India as a nation, what promises that India as a nation gives for the citizens as well as the entire world. And at the same time, he also talks about the struggles or the challenges that India as a nation faces in implementing its goals, visions, and the promises it makes. So it's a very interesting book, The Struggle and the Promise, Resolving India's Potential. And what is interesting about the book is he provides the solutions from his perspective, which can actually help the nation and its citizens to acclaim their vision. The book has been also acclaimed by some of the prominent fraternities from the industry, institution, and policy makers, and something which is a must read and very fascinating book. That is on 24th of September. That is a Saturday from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. We would be hearing Dr. Naushad Forbes, who's a co-chairman of Forbes Marshall. He is coming along with us. And what is also, we would also be witnessing an experience, seeing and would be hearing it from a chief guest, Miss Gauri Kirloskar, the MD of Kirloskar Oil Engines, would be also along with us for this session. So I also invite all the audience to be a part of this session. We will be sending an online invitation about the book in first week of September. So we would look forward to that. And as far as our today's session is concerned, I thank all the audience, our members, for showing faith in us and being a part of this social initiative right from the beginning. Thank you so much for your time and patience. We would continue to bring more and more insights into topics and books, subjects. We have been receiving comments from you, certain topics to be covered, and we will try our best to cover all of them. Meanwhile, thank you so much to all the members and attendees. With this, we conclude the session for today. Also, thank you once again, Mr. Dani, for your time and taking us through. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you, and
So
have a
with
nice
this,
weekend ahead.
same to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.